So, it's February 18th today. At least 29 people have been killed so far in protests across the Muslim world. Let's just check to see if anybody else today. I believe the latest one was Libya. 11 people were killed there. That was yesterday, Friday, in Benghazi. It's just, there you go. I'm on a well-known news site. It's the second story. It isn't even the lead story. At least 15 die in Nigeria cartoon protest. This just keeps on going. Maiduguri, Nigeria. Nigerian Muslims protesting caricatures of the Prophet Muhammad attacked Christians and burned churches on Saturday. That's today. Killing at least 15 people in the deadliest confrontation yet in the whirlwind of Muslim anger over the drawings. This, by the way, has got to be the first major protest to erupt in Africa's most populous nation, Nigeria. The story is told on this news story that I'm looking at. An AP reporter, Associated Press, Illuminati owned and controlled, saw mobs of Muslim protesters swarm through the city center with machetes, sticks, and iron rods. One group threw a tire around a man, poured gas on him, and set him ablaze. So there it is, your latest story in this continuing, awful, disgusting, Illuminati-controlled Hegelian dialectic called the Danish cartoons. Well, let's add it up now. 15 and 29. I'm awful at math. Just awful. But you know, there's one thing that I do know, and that's the Illuminati's numbers. We have now 44 dead total. 4 is the number of foundation. This is double the 4. Because this is the foundation for World War III. It was intended to be that way when the cartoons were first introduced into that Danish newspaper, which I will cover totally tonight. I will go deeper than a black hole on this headline. I've shut up about this thing since the beginning because I didn't want to get involved in the Hegelian dialectic of pitting Islam versus Christianity. Is this about free speech? The answer, a resounding no. It is about pitting one group against another. And if you've been listening to A View from Space on AM 640 Toronto Radio for any length of time at all, you know and understand the precept of the Hegelian dialectic. Brought over from Bavaria by George Hegel, it is how to pit one group against another, create the chaos, make the change. The change to what? To the New World Order. Out of chaos comes change. The Illuminati's motto. And these cartoons are not just cartoons. I'm going to break it down for you. I'm going to drag the names out. I'm going to show you who is responsible, their connections, and ultimately where the Illuminati want this to lead. It is continuing again. And There is no way I could have made this up. This is a news story that has just hit the wire 1 hour and 23 minutes ago. At least 15 die in Nigeria cartoon protest. These cartoons, any Muslim will tell you, any God-fearing Christian will tell you, any Jew will tell you, they are not worth 44 human lives. There's something sinister, there is something demonic that is driving this. It will be revealed tonight on A View from Space on AM 640 Toronto Radio. I'm not sure if you're aware, but Denmark is not the only one in Europe to stick the stick in the beehive and give it a twist. Stockholm, Sweden also, with a company called Cheap Monday Jeans, which are a hot commodity, by the way, among young Swedes. It's got a tight, trendy fit, low price. And there's a lot of people buying it, even if they're turned off by the logo. Do you know what the logo is for Cheap Monday Jeans? A skull with a cross turned upside down on its forehead. Yeah. This was only about a month ago, but it didn't get much reaction. But it was followed tightly on the heels of these jeans with the Danish cartoons. More about the Cheap Monday Jeans from Stockholm, Sweden. And more, so much more, about the Danish cartoons. The killer cartoons. That's all coming up on A View from Space on AM 640 Toronto Radio. Call your friends. Tell him he is on now. And he's going to be on until 2 a.m. revealing the diabolical deeds.
Opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect those of AM 640 Toronto Radio. History buffs, monarchists masticate, truth seekers cheer. He's the spaceman with A View from Space. AM 640, Toronto Radio.
A View from Space on AM 640 Toronto Radio. Sorry I'm early. I apologize for that. Anyone that you share the show with, please call them immediately and tell them A View from Space is already on the air at AM 640 Toronto Radio. We'll continue till 2 a.m. this morning, giving you such incredibly compelling information that even if you are an ardent disbeliever in this show, you will at least tonight come away with some doubt about what's going on with the Danish cartoons. I opened the show with a headline, at least 15 die in Nigeria over these cartoons, a protest. The first major one in Africa's biggest nation, Nigeria. And of course, the trouble only happens in the nations that have a large Muslim contingent. That's because right now, you living in the Western world are being subject to propaganda that is designed specifically to demonize the Islamics. On the other side of the world, they don't have to demonize the Jews. It's already been done through almost 2,000 years. But also the Christians, too, are now being demonized on the other side of the world by the same party who runs all three religions from the top. I'm not talking about your average Muslim, your average Jew, and your average Christian. I'm talking about the leadership from the very top is controlled by the elite rich. After all, who is the keeper of Islam? Saudi Arabia. Who is the keepers of the Christian faith, the defender of the faith? The Windsors in Buckingham Palace. Britain. America. The goal of the New World Order is for the large corporation, population, resources, communications, finances, trade, and labor. That's you and me, the workforce. This involves manipulating economies, politics, society, and religion on a global level. That's why these protests have to go global. This is AM 640 Toronto Radio, the Spaceman on a View from Space. Scratching the surface of the Danish cartoons for the first time. I'll take you through how it all began, with some background on the source of the latest assault, pitting one side against the other. The 15 added to the other, what? We had 29, I believe. Now give us 44 dead. Over cartoons? No. This is the Hegelian dialectic, pitting one side against another, working to perfection. Wherever these protests are with violence, the ones that start the violence are the controlled ones. They start it all off. Some of the others that have just joined in, meaning for a peaceful presence, end up helping out, but not many. It's that small core that's hired to go in and do the dirty deed. Libya, Friday. 11 people died when the security forces attacked rioters who torched the Italian consulate in Benghazi. I will get to that story. That is incredible. Hopelessness is what they intend us all to feel. Danish church officials, they say, after this Nigerian protest with 15 dead, met with top Muslim clerics in Cairo, but made no significant headway in diffusing the conflict. In other words, we're going to keep on going. There were some peaceful demonstrations, like the one in London, England today, which basically is used to only elevate the intensity or the passion. Harness the passion of the average Muslim who lives in London with a peaceful protest. But look, anyone die in London? No. Last Saturday, anyone die here in Toronto when they protested the cartoons in Toronto? No. It seems only in the poor nations where there already has